Right, Dave, I've asked you about something before actually on this programme. I'm going to ask you about it again. I've got a bag here, and as per the tradition on here, what's in the bag today? Have a little root around in there, Tom. Go on.
Line.
Yeah.
More line.
Not just lime. What is it? What is it? What is it?
07. Fluorocarbon.
Fluorocarbon. And that is the topic. Now, as I said, I think we have touched on this before in our many ranging discussions, but obviously anglers' views do change, and I just wondered where you're at with fluorocarbon. Do you use it in your fishing? If you do, what do you use it for and why?
Yeah, rather embarrassingly really, Tom. I've only really got onto it in the last couple of years, and I still don't really know why, if I'm honest. I know the properties of fluorocarbon, but I've been using it for carp fishing, for like bomb and pellet hook lengths and things like that method. But I'm still not convinced of why I'm using it and how much it's changed my fishing. But I am using it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I probably need you to tell me why I'm using it, Tom. Because it's just something you hear about all the time. Everyone's using it. But what interests me is that people are using it for their silver hook fishing hook lengths and stuff like that. And I feel that's something I should be doing. And yeah, why am I not? Basically.
I'll tell you why I use it. The only thing I can say that is definitely borne out by its performance to me. For silverfish fishing, when you're going at speed or trying to catch numbers of fish, it doesn't spin up or doesn't tangle like mono or power line does.
Right.
So I use it for all my silverfish fishing, near enough. Well, in fact, yeah, all of it.
So why does it not spin up? Because it's a stiffer line, or?
I think it is the stiffness. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But I think that must be something to do with it. It is very stiff, and maybe also for that reason, and because of the sort of texture of it, it falls in a straight line through the water. You know what I mean? Right. Whereas I feel often you get spin ups because shot drags bait down and it twists, doesn't it? Sort of thing. So yeah, I think it's superb from that point of view. I have tried it for carp fishing, i.e. commercial carp and hook lengths for that game, but I've always found that it's not as strong as power line. That's where I was at with it. I've had to sort of find a brand that that does that I feel confident in, because didn't feel it was necessarily, like I say, a strong diameter for diameter. No. And that's the problem really, is like you say, you've just said using it for hook lengths for silvers. Most commercial carp anglers are using it, so it's almost like it's taken over. We're using it for everything now. Yeah. Big liner on there, Tom. Yeah. So do you think it's completely taken over for all our hook lengths now? I'll use it for silverfish and not really for carp, and that's probably where I'm at with it. So, from your point of view, Dave, you're inclined just not to use it at all. I mean, you do a lot of different kinds of fishing. You do salmon fishing, you do pike fishing, you do obviously match style fishing in a number of different ways. Do you use it anywhere else? I've got some that I use for salmon fly fishing. Why? But that's more, I think, about again, going back to what you were saying about the way it lies, the way it falls, so obviously a lot of like fly fishing is about, imitating. You've got a fly that's either moving, swinging across the current, and the way it sort of holds straight or falls, with the weight. But again, you go on some fisheries, on salmon fisheries, and the gillies will just go there. £15 maxima, they're just not even. So again, I'm not completely sold. Yeah. I don't use, and that's what I do tend to use. I use a maxima hook length because it's a different game altogether. But what interested me actually, I watch a lot of carp fishing. Not commercial carp, like actual carp fishing, big carp fishing. Yeah. Watch a lot of videos on that, and some of the guys there, they'll use it as mainline. Really? Yeah. I've never seen that before. And like big thing, and I'm still not quite, because I'm not an expert, but I'm not quite sure why they're doing that either. But they, some places they want to use it over braid and things like that. And for me, it's just a bit of a minefield at the moment, and I've not seen anything. Sometimes you hear people. That'll be on, Tom. Is that a large carp? That's a large carp, Tom. Oh, fantastic. And sometimes you hear people talk about something, and you try and sort of process it in your head.
and then you think, actually, yeah, that makes really sense. I can see why they're saying that. I can see why they're doing that.
Yeah.
I've not got there with fluorocarbon yet. It's just it just doesn't really sort of. I haven't worked it out.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for someone to sort of say, well, yeah, you've got to do it like that. And I'm interested in what you're saying about the silverfish, because obviously I do a fair bit of silverfishing, and you know, and I'm not there yet. So, yeah.
Now, this wouldn't affect me one bit because I don't tie my own hooks. I have a friend who is a massive help to me when it comes to that. But I have heard it's difficult to tie.
I still can't get over the fact you've got a hook tire. Yeah, I have. In my limited time with it, I have tied some, and I can see why it doesn't sort of gather the same. The knot doesn't gather the same. You're going to net this one for me?
I will, mate. I will. I'll play gilly.
Yeah, and there is that. You've got to be very careful how you tie it. I know that, but I think with knotless knots, I don't think it's so much of a problem.
No, that makes sense.
But who knows? It just seems like it's another one of those things that everyone's doing that you feel you should be doing. Well, this is how I feel that I should be doing, but I'm not sure exactly why.
And that, to me, I could be wrong, but you know, we do know there's a lot of fads in fishing. Think about things that we used to all believe in 20 years ago or 15 years ago that have changed. You know, and some things do come and go.
Well, 20 years ago, you wouldn't have seen me using a drag to play a carp.
No.
You know, so I haven't put the back wind on at all. You know, because that's. But things change, don't they? This carp's just got a bit angry.
You really see me.
It saw you, Tom. That's what happened there. It saw you, my friend. It's great fishing, this is, isn't it?
Oh, it's lovely. We've had a small fish every chuck on the pole. Tested out some silverfish gear, and now we've had a go on this ends on.
So just
feeder combo, and
just to continue on our what's in the bag thing. You know, we haven't got a fluorocarbon hook length on here. How do you think it would aid a method feeder setup? You know, where we've got a short 4-inch hook length.
The only thing I've heard it be used for, I don't think it's right for method feeder as a hook length, because I worry the fact that it's quite stiff compared to mono would mean it'll spring your bait away from the feeder, so he's not setting your trap properly.
Got you, yeah.
But I have heard, I could be misquoting here, so don't quote me on this, I'm fairly sure. Will Raisin and Paul Holland used to fish fluorocarbon shock leaders in the winter when bomb fishing, and the reason was always to pin down, the line above the feeder and stop it. You get line bites or bumping into fish.
So that would be it with big carp fishing.
Yeah.
That's why they might probably using it on that is to pin it down, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes sense. Doesn't
it?
Lovely little common meal that is.
They're some beautiful fish, aren't they?
Lofty just hanging in the corner of its mouth, but them QM1s don't half go in well, do they?
They do. You need your disgorger.
I've got it, mate.
You've got it. You're a man of many talents.
You slip him straight back.
Put him straight back.
We've got enough in there. So we're saying the jury's out. Is that the conclusion?
Yeah, I just feel like I need to do more, and I don't spend enough time experimenting with things. But I suppose you get set in your ways, but I suppose it's the same thing, isn't it, Tom? You need to see someone sat next to you catching more than you, using it to go, actually, that's it. But to say there's enough top anglers out there using it now that like I say, I've got some, you've got some, we're using it. It's just, I just feel like we need to understand it more.
I'm sorry if that's confused you more than helped you folks, but that's an honest appraisal of fluorocarbon.
That's where we're at with it, isn't it? And that's how it's got to be. It's so you can't, we don't know the answers, but I'm sure people will.
I don't normally do this, but why don't you drop your comments and your experiences on fluorocarbon in the comments under this video, because it'll be very interesting to gauge what everybody else thinks about this. So
I'd love to hear from someone who's used it and gone, no, it's not for me, and gone back, and anyway, we'll see. It'd be interesting to see what people say.
Drop your comments below. Thanks for watching, folks.